cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's time again to cherish all the time you spend, you tuned in to. It's the number one podcast. The topics of discussion when we broadcast. So all them artificial man jokes, we do it natural from the concrete to a public standpoint. Real, wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real, you just gotta listen. Wherever you're from, life is coexistence, but to know the real.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the 52 Scott Podcast. I'm your host, K Money, and in the building with me, my co-host Slash, Freddie G, and Comedian 96. Collectively, we are the Mind of Men. You can find us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Scott Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, the 52 Scott Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. Welcome, fellas, to another episode of True Tuesday. Man, today I thought we'd discuss a topic that I came across. It was actually sent to me from a friend of mine, Doc D. Thank you for this topic. First, genetically edited pig kidney was transplanted into a human. You know,
pig?
You heard me right, a pig.
Now, see, that's something you never would.
You would never thought that, man.
Yeah.
As much as we love bacon and just
right.
parts of the pig, period.
Yeah, right.
That it would be actually saving a life instead of taking it, because normally we're having to give it up.
Right.
Yeah. So this happened at if I'm not mistaken, this happened this year in March. And it was at procedure was conducted at a Harvard Medical School by a physician of scientists at procedure conducted by Harvard Medical School physician scientists at Massachusetts General Hospital. And with this procedure being successful, you know, that they're hoping that, you know, this is going to help save future lives.
Right.
You know, the pig kidney provided by biotech company was co-founded by some HMS students, and it was genetically edited to make it more compatible to be with humans and reduce chance of infection.
So with that says that they done something to this
right.
this pig's
other than seasoning.
Right.
They did. We used to season the pig.
Yeah, you ain't lying. I mean,
but they did something else.
They did something to it.
Cause I'm sitting there, I'm like, the topic of the show, pork save lives. I'm like, how? So it's interesting because I don't know if you guys know, but the first human heart transplant was in 1964. They used a chimpanzee heart.
Yeah.
But that person died within 2 hours. So my question, but before I say that, that was the first one was a chimpanzee heart. They died within 2 hours.
Wow. Now
Stephanie is a lady named Stephanie Beauclair. I might be butchering her name. Beauclair. She was the first human to receive a transplant from a baboon, but she lived. All right. So and she was the last. She was the first and the last to use the baboon. So it's interesting. Why didn't they, since the baboon was successful, why not use the baboon?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer to that.
Yeah,
that is a good question. That surgery or procedure that you're discussing brought up, how long ago was that?
I think Stephanie was 2019.
2019,
yeah,
so it's still pretty recent, and she's still living.
Yeah, she's still living.
Okay, that's what's up. Long-term results of this first of its kind transplant conducted under the FDA compassionate use protocol and are not yet clear. So, I mean, again, this is still a recent procedure that has happened within the last 2 or 3 months.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But so far, you know, everything is proven to be successful and is going fine. And the patient was a 62-year-old from Massachusetts. So he was an elderly person, you know, who had type 2 diabetes and had already gone through one kidney transplant that had failed.
Yeah.
So, you know, putting yourself in this man's situation, you know, if you guys were given this option to have a animal's organ implanted in you to save your life, do you think that you'll be brave enough to go through that process, knowing that it had never been tested or it had never been done before?
I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, you gotta give it to this man to be brave.
Yeah, he was brave enough, but I'm not gonna do it.
You already know you wouldn't do it. How about you, Freddie G?
Well, it depends on how close to death I am, because
Be like a tourniquet with you, your last resort type of deal.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at if they tell you that, hey, if you don't get an organ or this transplant or whatever, you're gonna die within the next week or so or whatever. And so, number one, it depends on how close to death I am, and number two, it depends on how old I am, because once you up in age, man, I mean, it's hard to recover from surgeries.
That's true, and you may not have the strength, depending on the type of surgery,
Yeah.
to recover from it as well. That makes a lot of sense. But so you're saying, depending on how much longer you have to live, would determine whether or not you take this option or not.
Yeah.
And if it was something else that you had said.
Up in age.
age.
My age.
How about you, Comedian 96? I mean, I know a transplant of that sort with you is not really different. I mean, because it's animal to animal, right?
You got a joke. Well, okay, you turn it to Freddie G. Now, what was the question, man? You made me lose my train of thought. Oh, now. You made me lose train of thought.
If you had this option, if this option was given to you, would you take advantage of it?
Oh, okay.
Knowing that it had never been done.
Okay, so first, before I say that, the baby Faye actually, so the chimpanzee, they live 2 hours. Baby Faye, before I go on, I gotta make a correction. Yeah, the baboon, make a correction. They lived 21 days. They died, right? So that was a correction. The article came out in 2019, so I got it mixed up. So
I appreciate you.
But to answer your question, man, I'm older, man. Anything cutting into my body, I mean, anything dealing with it's.
So you have they're giving you a certain amount of time to live, and this may be your only opportunity to extend your life.
To a pig. Oof, man.
I mean, you're a gambler.
It's yeah, but that's a heck of a gamble. I mean, you could have chose any other animal that is similar to me, and you chose a pig.
What other animal is
the baboons, the monkeys, the gorillas, and all
You're
them.
similar to a baboon, is what you're saying.
I'm just saying, monkeys, baboons, gorillas.
Those similar
they're
to you.
primates, right?
But why do you feel it's similar to you?
They're primates.
What do you mean primates?
Oh.
But you just said though that the chimpanzee and the baboon had already been tried.
They tried and it didn't work. Yeah,
right. So they didn't even live a month. So you were still running.
So you gonna go lower into a pig? At least.
This the one that worked.
Well, it has worked longer than 21
Our
days.
history shows that pig, no matter what part we eat, is not good. So I'm pretty sure that heart not good either.
And I'm just saying,
I ain't gonna lie. If my life on the line, I would try it. I mean, I wouldn't.
It has to have been done before and proven before, because I mean, 50-50 chance you're gonna die.
But think about it. If you on a deathbed and they say, "Look, man, this is your only chance of living,"
Let me go.
If you're gonna die anyway,
I don't want to die with a pig kidney.
Now, granted, you mentioned a heart transplant earlier, Comedian 96. Now, a heart is I would think a much more vital organ than a kidney. Mm-hmm. We have two kidneys, right?
Right.
So I can imagine, they could experiment with one of those kidneys. Mm-hmm. If you had two healthy kidneys, you could experiment and take a chance on failing with one, because it's been proven that we can live with one kidney.
Right.
So, I appreciate the info in regards to those first animal to human transplant with the heart. But yeah, I think it's a big difference, like I said, with the organs being used. The success of this transplant is a culmination of efforts by thousands of scientists and physicians over several decades. So, they're steadily trying to figure out,
right.
ways to utilize animals, to help fight diseases and things of that nature. So I think this is a major step for medical and science as a whole.
Yeah.
And hopefully, Richard Slayman, I don't know if I mentioned his name earlier. This was the 62-year-old who had the surgery. And again, brave soul, because I myself, I asked you three if you would do it, but honestly speaking, man, I don't know if I could go through that myself.
Any type of, because you know how they say the older you get, opening up your body is just not good, going under the knife. So it's risky already that you're using a pig, and it's already, now you're making, you going into me. So it's risky that you got to cut into me. Now you're gonna put a pig inside me.
62.
At 62.
At 62. Yeah,
that's
it's
senior citizen.
Yeah.
It
definitely is.
It's just by you cutting to me, it's possible I might not wake up. The anesthesia that you used to put me to sleep.
Yeah.
Possibly I might not wake up already. I hadn't got to the pig heart yet.
And keep in mind, this was a 62-year-old that had type 2 diabetes,
Right.
so he wasn't.
He wasn't healthy.
Yeah, he wasn't in bad health. I wouldn't say, but he type 2 diabetes is not anything to play with.
And see, that's just it. I guess he had to have something that would soak up some of the stuff, because if his kidney wasn't functioning properly and he had to get a pig kidney, then that pig kidney must have been cleaned of whatever.
Gotta be.
You know what I'm saying? To work properly.
They had to filter it and make sure he was good.
Well, again, it was edited, and
Yeah,
I keep
they
saying
did
edited.
something to right.
Well, I do know they do. They have certain hogs that they only eat. They don't eat like the slops and all that. It's kind of, they trying to make a healthy pork or something. So that's possible with the same thing. They could have made sure that particular pig was only eating, what
It may have been a grown pig inside of a lab.
Yeah,
pig.
yeah. Making sure he ate right, his protein.
I mean, we don't know where it come from.
Hey,
but
I got a question. So, let me ask y'all, and just think of any situation. So it doesn't have to be related to what we're discussing, but just think of any situation. Have you ever been faced with a situation where you did something that you didn't think that you would do
Ordinarily.
Have you ever been in any kind of situation that you be like, that when you reflect back on it, you think of, damn, I can't believe I actually did that.
Yes. Yep.
And so here's why I asked that. Now, K Money, you asked me, would I do it? And I said it depends on, my age and how much time I have to live. The reason why I said how much time I have to live and my age is because once you're a certain, in my opinion, once you're a certain age, you get comfortable with, if God calls me home to glory now, I'm okay. And if I had to guess, that's usually around in your 80s or something like that. You kind of okay with death, right? And I say that, and I ask you guys, have you ever experienced something that you wouldn't think, or faced something that you did something you wouldn't know, you wouldn't have ever thought you would have done?
Right.
I say that because you're young now, and y'all say, I wouldn't do it. But man, when you faced with death and you ask yourself, are you ready to go right now? Are you ready to go right now? You'll probably be surprised if they come to you and say, hey, look, man, if you don't take this, we got to try this our last ditch effort to put this pig organ in you. If not, man, you're going to die in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're not really ready to go, you never know, man. You probably
wouldn't agree with it.
You got it's got a point. It's the same analogy as they would say. People were like,
you never know.
Why people jump out of a burning building? Well, you ain't ready to go. So even though you 50 floors up, you'll jump because you're not ready to go that way, and you're not ready to go, period. So your mind is saying, man, you need to get out of here. So yeah, I get that same analogy.
Yeah, if you're not ready to go, man, you never know what you may try
do.
if you ain't ready to go. Because I know I ain't ready to go right now.
And that's the key factor. If you're not ready to go, you sitting in that bed and the doctor tell you, just like Freddie G, hey, do this or that, or you out of here. If you ain't ready to go, you'll try anything.
Yeah, I mean, if they've tried pretty much everything.
Drink some WD-40, you'll live. Oh, come on, yeah.
I think what they're doing is because the list of people that
donate organs
that need organs,
right?
The list is so huge.
Yeah.
You know, the people, of course, are not donating organs, so they can get it quicker or sooner in other places. Which, I mean, like you say, they may be breaking into something that may be, really good.
Here's something else. Here's what I find interesting, and I guess it all depends on your family members too. See, you don't have to be on the donors list if you need an organ. If you got a family member that's willing to donate their organ,
Right.
you don't have to be on the list. I mean, hey, this is my son who's doing it for me.
Right.
Or this is my daughter who's doing it for me.
right.
So I would wonder, damn, did he have a family member that they tried to test? Or did a family member come forward?
Maybe not. I mean, or maybe this is like an experiment right now. Maybe he's the first. It is actually.
Well, they have a name for this. It's I'm gonna try to pronounce it. Hopefully, I don't mess it up as bad as I'm sure Comedian 96 would have. But transplantation of organs or tissues from other animals, known as xenotransplantation, which is what this process is called. I thought about with this becoming a successful procedure. I think we had discussed this on a previous show way back when, but what you think about the black market? You know how organs are
sold.
Yeah.
I'm sure this would probably affect
it would
that type of business, if you want to call it that.
Well, it'll be very profitable.
Well, you said it just happened, so we got to see the results of this guy here.
Yeah, but if it does if it is proven to be a successful transplant, and they consider using this in the future, I can see, we probably have a shortage on pigs because I can see the black market,
going down. But it could be good for other people though. That's like, man, I'm not using no pigs. It may still, if it is successful, it might go cheaper. I mean, I know it's still bad to do it on the black market, but they're not going to sell it for high.
I think they had to groom that pig. Though, and if
because
you ain't just stealing no pig,
right?
But money talks, bro. You have somebody that's working in that field.
In the field to bring it. I got you.
Yeah,
and bring it to them.
Yeah, I got you.
But hopefully, go ahead, Slash.
What was kind of important on there too about them cleaning or doing whatever they had to do to this pig kidney to make it usable to a human, to keep it from getting infection is what scared me. Yeah. Because now, if that gets an infection, we don't know yet. What is it going to do to the rest of my body and the organs in my body? Is it going to infect all of that? Am I going to be completely infected? So it's a lot to really think about if you live. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even if you have a human kidney and a transplant, you still have follow-ups and procedures that has to go with that to watch this kidney, to monitor this kidney, and whatever medications you need to take with this kidney. So I would think that the same would apply to an animal organ, the pig. They would still have follow-ups, monitoring, medication to lower the risk of infection. So
let me ask this question, and I'm not even trying to be funny by asking this question, but with it being a pig's organ, and let's say something does go wrong, do you think a veterinarian would play a part in
that's that's a good question.
I think it's a good question, but it just sounds.
But that's a good question.
Yeah.
But you got to also keep in mind that, if I'm not mistaken, they say it's scientists.
Right.
So I think that
I would think at the beginning of this process is probably when a veterinarian would be used. But I was actually asking on the back end,
Or to follow
after the transplant.
follow.
You know, if hey, something wrong with this pig, you know, but doctors that are normally operating on humans don't know the answers to pigs.
You know what? That's a good question. I would say that there are probably some consultants.
Yeah, I'm sure on that
but
staff.
I would still, because I still got the rest of my body,
right,
which is human. Right. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't feel comfortable going to a veterinarian.
I'm gonna be honest.
If
I knew, if I was in there, I was getting surgery on my heart, I knew that
kidney.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. My kidney, and I knew that it was coming from a pig.
Wait. Let's get it straight.
I said my kidney.
No, you said your kidney.
Yeah.
You said with an M.
Hey,
I did.
All three of us heard something different than kidney.
So let's make sure the listeners understand
kidney,
that you
like the kidney bean.
But we're talking about humans right here.
Right, we're not talking about beans. We're talking about the kidney. Right. Humans. Yeah. Knowing that I was getting a transplant from a pig, if I was in there in this operating room and I seen my surgeon and I seen my anesthesiologist and a pet cemetery guy or a veterinarian, I would. Let me stop.
Pet cemetery.
I don't know why that came to me. They in there, I wouldn't be. It wouldn't alarm me. However, if I seen somebody with the same jacket on with blue ribbon or Decker or blue wrist bacon, then I'll be a little concerned. Then let me stop. I was talking about the bacon, the pig.
So you think you gonna get processed?
Wait.
Let me stop. No, for real. No.
But that was a good question, though. Okay,
that was a real good question.
Would you go consult with a veterinarian? That's.
I'm sure they probably would be on the staff on the like you said, a consultant.
Yeah, they'd be on it. They'd have to because you can't if nobody knows nothing about this animal part.
Right.
Just stick that in a human.
I could definitely see it happening, like I say, early on in the process when they considered it.
Yeah. Somebody was there to say,
I would want to revisit this show in 6 months, see where he's at. Because it's just happened.
What year was this? Was this 2018? Or that was his first kidney transplant?
No, this wasn't his first. He had a previous kidney transplant that
they did that one also.
Right, that was in 2018,
okay.
and that one failed.
So they knew they needed to go somewhere else and try something different.
Well, I guess because of his condition,
right.
That was the only other option. Now, I don't know if he had a donor that had a matching kidney, if that would have worked or not. And I don't even know where the other kidney that they used came from earlier. It doesn't say, but like I say, his condition. Type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. So
right.
He had some conditions going on, and being 62 years old.
Yeah. Do any one of y'all know? Now I remember Comedian 96. You mentioned 2 individuals that had organs by a chimpanzee and one a baboon, and now K-Money, you're mentioning the pig.
Right.
I assume that everybody is Caucasian.
It doesn't even give the ethnicity Caucasian on this one, but Richard Slayman sounds
the name
Caucasian.
Kind of I don't know any black slaves.
Has there ever been a case, or that y'all know of, if animal organs were used on a black individual?
Can't recall.
I can't either. I'm thinking. I can't.
I have no recollection of none.
Yeah, I went to my primary care doctor and one time, and I had to get, they check your balls and tell you to cough. I pulled my pants down, and she thought I was hoarse.
This
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Now I will say that was a little left field.
Yeah, because
it was left field.
That was Freddie G, y'all. That was not me.
That I wouldn't expect a comedian to say
that from Comedian 96. So now, but you said you and K Money earlier. You said you and K Money. No, you and Freddie G are on the same team.
I don't know, man.
You might be getting to him.
Y'all gonna have to watch him when we go to the park. Y'all gonna when we go out to play, you have to escort him around, cause.
Hey, but on a real tip, man, I'm glad to see this progress in the medical field, and hopefully it does have a long-term effect, which means that we're on a path of extending and saving lives. And if using the pig is successful, I'm sure that's opening it up for them to also experiment with other animals. So I'm gonna leave it right there, man. Y'all have a good one. Thank y'all for joining. This concludes another True Tuesday episode, and be sure you tune in tomorrow for another episode of Women Wednesday with Freddie G. Don't forget to follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, at 52 Sky Podcast, Instagram and Facebook, The 52 Sky Podcast, and if you're on YouTube, don't forget to like and or subscribe. And to all my 52 Sky faithfuls, it may be new to you, but if you heard it here, then you know it's true.